Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Mirza, and today me and my team is going to talk about Netflix. First of all, let me introduce the presenters. There's Zaki, there's myself, there's Felix, there's Bella, Kimberly, Nabila, and Christine. And today's agenda will be the introduction by myself, situation by Felix, background analysis by Nabila and Kimberly, recommendation response by Christine, Bella, and Zaki, and last but not least is conclusion by myself. Okay, let us delve into a critical topic that has been a subject of increasing importance in the global entertainment landscape. Netflix's approach to addressing cultural insensitivity. As one of the world's leading streaming platforms, Netflix holds an immense influence on audiences spanning diverse cultures and backgrounds. The content it produces and distributes plays a significant role in shaping perceptions and narratives. In this discussion, we aim to scrutinize the company's effort in recognizing and rectifying instances of cultural insensitivity within its content library. By examining the steps taken thus far and forecasting potential strategies for the future, we hope to shed a light on the pivotal role Netflix can play in fostering cultural inclusivity and understanding on a global scale. Let us embark on this exploration with a critical eye towards progress and positive change. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Now I will be discussing on situation. We will be covering two topics, which are controversial themes and cultural insensitivity. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is a supernatural television series that originally aired on Netflix. It is based on the Archie comics character Sabrina Spellman and offers a dark and more mature story and with a witchcraft theme. And the controversies surrounding this TV series are satanic imagery, witchcraft and the occult, representation of values, and dark themes. And we'll be discussing on the cultural insensitivity, which are going to be covered with these three movies. The first will be Marco Polo. This is a Netflix series regarding cultural history. Unfortunately, it had gotten backlash on the three main complaints and choices they made on its executions. The three choices are stereotypical characterization, cultural inaccuracies, and whitewashing. And for our second study, The Ridiculous Six is aimed to be a joking ride full of jokes and satire. But sadly, these jokes and satire wasn't received very well by the audience. In fact, it caused controversies such as stereotypical characterization, cultural inaccuracies, and harmful humor and satire. And finally, we have our final study, which is Big Donuts, or known as Cuties. This is a Netflix show with the objective to show that what happens when a kid is given too much freedom on the internet. It has caused various controversies surrounding insensitive marketing, hypersexualization of young girls, and insensitive topic portrayal. And for the next topic, I will be handing it over to Nabila. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Felix. I'll take it from here. Next, we will discuss about the background analysis, specifically the stakeholders. For Netflix, we choose three main stakeholders. The first one is investors. Netflix investors may experience negative financial and reputational impacts due to the cultural insensitivity and misleading portrayal issues in the company's content. These issues can lead to reputational damage, invite regulatory scrutiny, and also raise concerns about the company's long-term viability as an investment. Second one, we also have government. They can impact the company since government has the authority to regulate media content within their jurisdictions. They can enact laws or regulations that require Netflix to adhere to certain content standards. It may face fines, warnings, or restrictions imposed by government's regulatory bodies. Moreover, governments may engage in diplomatic discussions or negotiations with Netflix to address concerns and ensure content aligns with local values and norms, since we know that Netflix operates globally. Last but not least, we have customers or subscribers. The customers can be impacted by the company and also they can impact the company. Because of Netflix has a diverse global audience, issues related to cultural insensitivity and misleading portrayals can affect viewers from different cultural backgrounds, leading to a loss of trust and perceptions that the platforms doesn't cater to their interests or values. Then this will lead to consumers' backlash and harm Netflix brand reputation, and also it can influence potential customers' decisions to subscribe to the platform. Next discussion will be Explained by Kimberly.
Thank you, Nabila, for pinpointing the three different stakeholders that impacted Netflix. For our case, we decided to pinpoint subscribers. So, a bit of a background. Netflix's vision is to become the best global entertainment service. They value connecting customers to content, and this ranges in a lot of content, ranging from documentaries to blockbuster films to exclusive series. With mass audiences from all around the world, it is important for Netflix to always remain inclusive towards all audiences. However, this attempt may have ended up backfiring with the recent case of the Netflix documentary Queen Cleopatra. As many shows have been doing recently to promote inclusivity, they've decided to include more people of color. And the same goes for the Queen Cleopatra show, in which they ended up casting a black woman to play the Queen Cleopatra. However, instead of promoting inclusivity, audiences and Egyptian society were enraged and protested against these actions on the lines of reverse racism, because, according to historians, Queen Cleopatra was believed to be of white descent, with Eurocentric features as shown in her statues. The entire population and audiences claim that Netflix is trying to rewrite history in a false light, which enraged audiences even more. The show currently is dubbed as the Netflix documentary with the worst score on Rotten Tomatoes with just 2%. For recommendations and response, I'll be handing it to my teammate Christine.
Thank you, Kimberly. Now let's move on to our proposed recommendations for Netflix. It became apparent for Netflix to solve and address this issue. Why? Because Netflix is putting its reputation, subscribers' trust, and global audience on the line, which are crucial factors that have supported its success so far. When content is culturally insensitive, it erodes trust and leads to subscriber dissatisfaction. Failing to salvage the negative narrative can harm the brand and public image. Therefore, the right move for Netflix to do is through public relation work. We propose that Netflix conducts a press conference to establish a space where Netflix can be transparent and directly acknowledge their mistakes and other concerns. Press conferences also reach widely to media outlets that make company message reach a broad audience. It also helps rebuild trust and showcase actions by announcing future plans to further reinforce their efforts to build goodwill with its subscribers and the public. Moving forward, Netflix can also start sharing clear content guidelines with creators and other production partners, emphasizing the importance of avoiding culturally insensitive content and promoting diverse representation. Lastly, we recommend for Netflix to also participate more in industry conversations, to share insights and best practices to contribute to broader change in the entertainment industry. Next, let's move on to the responses. I'll give it to Bella next.
Thanks, Christine. I'll be taking it from here. I'm here to outline Netflix's strategic plan to address content issues within a specific timeline. In the initial 4 weeks, we'll start with content review and establish guidelines. Step 1 being carefully looking at controversial content and finding possible problems. And this step involves examining the current content to identify any issues. In step 2, we'll create straightforward content guidelines to avoid controversies in the future. These guidelines will be a roadmap for making and managing content that matches our values. And turning to weeks 5 and 6, we'll shift our attention to transparency efforts. And step 1, we'll put in place transparency measures such as improved content ratings and warnings. This means giving viewers clear information about the content they're going to see so that they can make informed decisions. For step 2, we'll actively share these updates with our subscribers and partners. It is vital that we keep our audience and collaborators well informed about the actions we're taking. And in weeks 7 through 9, our focus will be on connecting with stakeholders. Step 1 being actively reaching out to key stakeholders such as investors, subscribers, and advocacy groups. This means establishing communication channels to listen to their concerns and gather valuable feedback. And step 2 will consist of addressing their concerns and gathering essential feedback.
This feedback will play a crucial role in shaping our content policies and decisions. It is worth noting that we'll be taking both of these simultaneously by holding a press conference, as mentioned by Christine in the previous slide. And finally, it is important to emphasize that this is an ongoing, continuous process for the last step. We will consistently monitor content to ensure compliance within our guidelines. This means regularly reviewing content to make sure it aligns with our established standards and taking necessary actions if any problems arise. Additionally, we will adjust our communication strategies based on real-time feedback. This involves remaining flexible and responsive to the changing needs and expectations of our audience and stakeholders. As for the budgeting aspect, I will pass it on to Zaki for further explanation. Thank you.
Thank you, Bella. So now I'm going to talk about the budget projection for next steps that Bella already mentioned here. And first, the detail. For the first expense, we have content review and guidelines. This may involve hiring experts to draft the guidelines, legal reviews, and conducting training for movie creators. So the active $5,000 is a general estimate of associated costs. Next is transparency initiative. This category covers the implementation of transparency measures such as content ratings, viewer warnings, and detailed content descriptions. The budget includes expenses for platform updates, design and development. So in total, we will need $40,000. And then we also need to tell and engage with our stakeholders regarding the updates we have made. So that's why we need to conduct a press conference. The budget may include event planning, logistics, media outreach, and PR services. So the $75,000 is a simplified estimate. And last but not least, we will need personnel, tools, and software to monitor the content and our ROI. So it will spend about $300,000. And in total, all necessities will cost $500,000. And after doing all that, we expect to see an increase in brand reputation as measured by customer surveys, media coverage, and social media monitoring. We also expect to see a 2 to 5% increase in subscriber numbers and a 1 until 3% reduction in churn rate. We expect to achieve this ROI within 6 until 12 months after resolving the controversial content issue. And now, I'm going to hand it over again to Kevin for the conclusion part. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone for wonderful presentations. In conclusion, the strides we've made in acknowledging and addressing cultural insensitivity paved the way for a more inclusive future at Netflix. This progress ensures that our upcoming projects will be crafted with the utmost respect for diverse cultural references, aligning seamlessly with established guidelines. Additionally, our commitment to listening and following customer feedback will play a pivotal role in understanding their desires and preferences, further enhancing the quality and relevance of our content offerings. Together, these endeavors reflect our dedication to fostering a global community where every voice is heard and every story is celebrated. Thank you for listening and feel free to ask any questions.